Everybody, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are studying the cardiovascular system. Lecture 1 will be an introduction to the cardiovascular system. Course objectives: we will review the anatomy of the heart and recognize the structure of the intrinsic conduction system. جهاز داخل القلب متخصص بنقل الإشارات الكهربائية and coordinate heart activity by determining the direction of the heart depolarization. 3. We will understand the ionic basis of the pacemaker potential, قواعد الأيونية للpacemaker potential and of an action potential in cardiac contractile cell. والaction potential التابع للخلية العضلية القلبية. We have three components, ثلاثة أجزاء للcardiovascular system. First, the heart القلب. Second, blood vessels الأوعية الدموية and blood. The heart consists of arteria, ventricles, and between arteria and ventricles there are valves. The blood vessels of many types: arteries, arterioles, capillaries, venules, and veins. The blood consists of cells and plasma. Different types of cells: erythrocytes كرات الدم الحمر، leukocytes كرات الدم البيض، platelets الصفائح الدموية and plasma. The heart and the blood vessels and the blood will form two circulations: the pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. الدورة الدموية العظمى والدورة الدموية الصغرى. The heart. First we will talk about the location of the heart. The heart is located in the thoracic cavity medial to the lungs. يعني راح تكون lungs lateral to the heart and posterior to the sternum. If you look from anterior, the sternum will be on the anterior side and the heart will be posterior to the sternum. It is easier to picture if you think the heart as an inverted cone، يعني قمع مقلوب. هذا القمع الأبكس دائما تكون إلى الأعلى والبيز تكون إلى الأسفل، لكن الهارت عبارة عن قمع مقلوب، وراح تكون البيز إلى الأعلى and the apex is downward، راح تكون في الأسفل. The base at the top and the tip apex at the bottom. The apex at the bottom. Chambers. The heart consists of two arteria, right atrium and left atrium, and the ventricles, right ventricle and left ventricle. There is a connection between each atrium and ventricle بين البطين والأذين called valve صمام, which regulate flow of blood from the arteria to the ventricle. الصمامات اللي بين الأتريا والventricle تتحكم بجريان الدم من الأتريا إلى الventricle. The valves of different types. Atrioventricular valves من اسمها atrioventricular راح تكون بين الأتريا وبين الventricles. We have the tricuspid valve and bicuspid or mitral valve. The tricuspid is on the right side between the right atria and right ventricle. ومن اسم tricuspid it has three cusps. الكسب هو الصفاقة، تراي ثلاثي، فراح يكون ثلاثي الصفاقات، بينما على الجهة اليسرى ما يسمى بالbicuspid valve or mitral valve contain two cusps. bicuspid ثنائي الصفاقة. This is the right atrioventricular valve, which is called tricuspid valve, while the other one is the left atrioventricular valve, which is called bicuspid valve. The other type of valves is the semilunar valves. عندنا البلمونري semilunar valve والaortic valve. البلمونري between the right ventricle and the pulmonary trunk, while the aortic valve between the left ventricle and the aorta. Associated structures. عندنا الكوردا تنديني and papillary muscles. Papillary muscle consists of muscular projections on the inner wall of the ventricles. بروزات عضلية على الحائط الداخلي للبطين. It attach to the cusp of the atrioventricular valves via tendinous fibers called chorda tendini. هاي البروزات العضلية الموجودة على الحائط الداخلي للبطين تتصل بواسطة ألياف وترية تدعى الكوردا تنديني بصفاقات الاتريوفنتريكولار فالفز. ليش تتصل بها؟ شنو وظيفتها؟ Papillary muscle and chorda tendini prevent the AV valve from reversing into atria as papillary muscle contract. خلينا نشوفها بالصورة. This is the bicuspid valve and this is the tricuspid valve. These muscular projections are called papillary muscles and these tendinous fibers called chorda tendini. The chorda tendini and papillary muscle prevent the AV valve from reversing into the atria as papillary muscle contract. راح يتقلص الventricle against closed valves. The pressure inside the ventricle will increase, so the cusps will tend to reverse into the atria. الصفاقات راح يصير ضغط عالي فراح يتجه نحو الاتريا، يريد ينفتحن على الاتريا والبلد راح يرجع من الفنتركل اذا انفتحن للاتريا. شلون نمنع هاي المشكلة؟ البابيلاري muscle will contract with the ventricle. ما دام عندنا الفنتركل صار بيه تقلص البابيلاري muscle راح يصير بيه تقلص and the chorda tendini will prevent the cusps from reversing back into the atria. The heart wall consists of three layers: endocardium and myocardium and epicardium. The myocardium. The myocardium is the muscular middle layer of the heart and contain cardiac muscle tissue. هي الطبقة الوسطانية وراح تكون مكونة من الخلايا العضلية القلبية واللي هي يصير بها contraction وتأدي لنا معظم الwork of the heart. Myocardium make majority of the thickness of the heart and is part of that is responsible for pumping of blood. هو الجزء المسؤول عن ضخ الدم. Epicardium is the outermost layer of the heart and it is just another name to the visceral layer of pericardium. البريكارديوم متكون من طبقتين بينهما فراغ. الطبقة الأولى اللي هي البرايتال بريكارديوم والطبقة الثانية هي الفيزرال بريكارديوم وبينهم البريكارديال كافيتي. الفيزرال لاير الملتصقة بالمايوكارديوم هذا الجزء من البريكارديوم أسميه إبيكارديوم. Epicardium is thin layer of serous membrane that help to lubricate and protect the outside of the heart. إذن وظيفتها هو الحماية والترطيب. This picture illustrates the three layers of the heart: the myocardium in the middle, the endocardium lining the heart, and the third layer is the epicardium, the outermost layer of the heart wall. The pericardium here you can see consists of parietal layer and visceral layer, and between the two layers there is pericardial cavity. The visceral layer is called epicardium, and we can see also the myocardium and endocardium. The three layers, endocardium, myocardium, and the visceral layer of the pericardium, are the three layers of the heart wall. We have two circulations, the pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. We must know the great arteries. This is the superior vena cava, and this is the inferior vena cava. This is the aortic artery, and this is the pulmonary trunk, and the last one is the pulmonary veins. The blood will be pumped from the left side of the heart to the systemic circulation, to the systemic arteries, then to the capillaries, to the organs of the body, and it will be deoxygenated and returned back by the inferior and superior vena cava to the right side of the heart. The right side of the heart will pump the blood to the lung to be oxygenated again and return to the left side of the heart by the pulmonary veins. Then the cycle will be repeated. The left side will pump the blood to the systemic circulation again. From right atrium, blood will move to right ventricle. From right ventricle to the pulmonary arteries, lung tissue, where it oxygenated again. Then from lung tissue to the pulmonary veins, then to the left atrium, and then to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, blood is pumped to the aorta, which conduct blood to the body tissues, where it supply these tissues with oxygen and become deoxygenated and return back by superior and inferior vena cava to the right side of the atrium. The circulation of blood from the right side of the heart to the lung to be oxygenated and return back to the left side of the heart, called pulmonary circulation, while movement of the blood from the left side to the body tissues to be deoxygenated and give this oxygen to the tissues and return back to the right side is called systemic circulation. Let's take a question. The atrioventricular valves A have 3 cusps for each valve. B attached to papillary muscle via cordia tendini. C open by contraction of papillary muscles. D all of the above. بالنسبة ل A have 3 cusps for each valve. It's false because not all AV valve have 3 cusps. The right side are called tricuspid valve and have 3 cusps, while the left side, the mitral valve, has only 2 cusps. B attached to papillary muscle via corda tendini. The cusp of atrioventricular valves attached to the papillary muscle via corda tendini. This is right. C open by contraction of papillary muscles. Wrong, because the papillary muscle prevent opening of the AV valve and reversing back into the atria. So the right answer will be B. Thank you by all languages.